absolutely know that rejuvenation is the name of the game for many of us, and there are a ton of names of procedures that are thrown around and new ones coming on screen all the time. So it's worth finding out what they're all about and what they do. So joining us this evening is Clarity MedSpa's Linda Murphy. So this time we're going to talk about something called PRP. It sounds really clinical, but it cures a host of ills, including hair loss.
Hair loss, absolutely. Yeah. PRP, platelet-rich plasma. And it's a treatment that it's a very natural treatment, actually. We're using one's own blood. So I hope no one's squeamish, but it's nothing to be squeamish about. A very small sample of your blood is drawn. Mm-hmm. It's spun in a centrifuge, and it's rich with platelets. So it's the platelet-rich plasma. And what we do is we take that rich blood and we localize it. We inject it where we want it to work. Okay, so it could be for wrinkles, it could be for scars, it can be for hair loss, which is really amazing, really appeals, especially at Clarity Med Spa. It really appeals to a lot of our women because with age, sometimes we lose a little bit of hair.
So what is it about the blood that's spun that way that cures those things, or what does it do to, let's say, stretch marks or scars?
Scars or hair loss, wherever we're using it. Platelets have the ability to regenerate new cells. And platelets have the ability to say to growth factors in cells, wake up, do what you used to do well. So we have our hair that's turning over, we have our cells that turn over in our skin, but with time and age, things slow down, and this platelet-rich plasma is asking cells in those areas where your problem areas are to wake up and do what they're supposed to do. So for hair loss, what it does is that increase of blood circulation gives you stronger, thicker, fuller hair. It's not really a treatment for male pattern baldness, but for women and men that are losing hair and where it's thinning, it really does slow down time and let you get a thick head of hair back.
So what if you have had a scar for 5 years? What's it going to do? Say, now you better start healing it? You've been asleep for 5 years?
Yeah, you can wake it up. Absolutely. Oh. So with the process, once it's done, and I want to just say, too, that it's not painful. Everyone that we do, we are always checking, are you comfortable? And people usually end up saying, that's it. They're like, yeah, I feel it, but that's it. It's not a big deal. When we're doing our injections, they're little tiny microscopic injections. So we're creating, like we've talked about before, little tiny injuries. So there's a needle that's going in with I want to say gun, which sounds evil, but it looks like a gun. It's like a little delicate sewing machine. Pop, 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 pop all over the skin or your scalp. Little tiny injuries, chased. Right after the injury with the needles, your own platelets are going in behind those injuries. So in the case of a scar, we're kind of re-injuring the scar with the little tiny needles. And then right behind it are your platelets that are going to help the injuries that we created that did not hurt. And we're recreating these injuries and we're chasing it with your platelet-rich plasma. There's nothing more natural that one could put back on their skin or in their scalp. It belongs to you. So if you want to call it organic, it's organically yours. It's your blood that we're putting back into your scalp, into the skin. I will say that the results consistently, the outcomes, and we always measure results by patient/client feedback, and the results are great. They're always very consistent.
Is this different? It sounds similar to what we were calling a couple of years ago, the vampire facial.
Yeah. So the vampire facial, that I think it was a registered name. It describes a treatment, and it was blood being re-injected or platelets being re-injected almost like a filler. So rather than, and it's kind of gone to the wayside because the outcomes are not consistent and they're not long lasting. So it was using the platelets like a filler. Well, the thing is, fillers don't wake your cells up. Fillers don't train your cells to do what they used to do. Even though the platelets were there, the way it was placed, it wasn't long lasting. So this way, what we do with the platelet-rich plasma is we're creating the injuries all over an area, chasing it with the plasma so that the skin can, in an entire area, can regenerate and give you the outcome that you're looking for, whether it's more hair, reduced wrinkles, fine lines around the mouth, right over the lips. We can even treat right over the lips to regenerate collagen and elastin in the lip area.
So how long would a treatment be? Say you were just wanting to do your lip area, you had fine lines to start in.
So most times it's in a series. So it's about those little tiny injuries, chasing it with the platelet, come back a couple times, a couple weeks later, and do the same thing again. The treatments themselves do not take a long time at all. The time in the treatment is around the blood sample that we're drawing, the small amount of blood. We're putting it through the centrifuge. So, that takes some time. The setup takes some time. The treatment itself, lips would take 5 minutes to do my face, neck, maybe even décolleté. That might go 30, 35 minutes. So it does not take long. There's just some setup time. So you'd have to allocate that for your, time away from work.
What about downtime?
Downtime, definitely. I would say a good 18 hours because you don't want to put any makeup on. We've created those little injuries. The pores are open. The skin's been opened. So the downtime is if you can't wear makeup, if you need to wear makeup, there's downtime for you because we don't want anything going on there.
So you just came back from Las Vegas.
I did.
Really big show.
There was a really big show.
So what's coming up? What's new on the horizon?
coming up?
What titillated you?
Well, what titillated me, well, cupping was big, but I was there representing the cupping, and that was really, really, really well received. Growth factors, because we were working, I was doing the cupping booth with Lure Essentials, growth factors are starting to show up in skincare, so that's an interesting one. And cannabis. There were a number of cannabis booths showing up with skincare and products and therapeutic products that use cannabis oil. So I'll keep you posted on that because I grabbed the brochures because I really was curious from a skincare perspective. I just didn't have time to explore, but I grabbed the names. But they were popping up. So I felt like I was on Queen Street West. Every second booth was a cannabis skincare or, it's like, oh. And I just go in and say, yes, I'm sick. I need cannabis skincare.
Well,
I have pain.
It cures all ills.
It
Didn't
does.
you know that?
It does.
A friend of mine uses one of their oils for joint pain.
Yep.
And she's for joint
pain,
for
pardon the
Yeah,
pun.
I know. But she said it really works.
Yeah.
And she literally it's just rubbing it on the knee. She said it's the best. It's better than Voltaren or anything like that she's tried.
We had a licensed massage therapist, an American woman at our booth. She does some training for Lure Essentials for the cupping. And she's a licensed trainer for the Massage Therapy Association, and she works with cannabis oil formulations for everything for fibromyalgia and for joint pain, and even she had formulated something and was waiting to get her approvals for shingles, which is breakthrough, I think. That would be amazing. Yeah, but the skincare it went back to growth factors are still a big, like they're emerging, and so that was nice to hear because I believe in waking my cells up.
Yeah.
I like to wake it up. To me, I'd rather get my body to do its own thing rather than working topically with something else that might not be part of me.
So when will we see growth factors at Clarity MedSpa?
Well,
more
growth factors. We already have them in our skincare lines with BioEffect. We have them with Neocutis. One is a plant-based growth factor. One is a human-derived growth factor. And now with PRP, because we like the delivery system with this PRP.
Yeah.
With this, we're now using human growth factors, but they're our own. So now we've brought it even closer to home, closer to our own bodies, because we're using our own growth factors.
So tell everyone, Linda, how they can reach you at Clarity.
They can reach me by going online at claritymedspa.ca. You can email me. We're on Instagram, Clarity MedSpa TO, and we're on Facebook as well, Clarity MedSpa TO. So reach out, and if you want a consultation or an assessment, it would be our pleasure. And if you're beyond the area, you can even email us. We even help people that aren't in 416 or 905.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thanks again for having me.
This is what she said. Stay with us.